back to the Ride or Die podcast. We are so excited for this episode today. It's kind of a bittersweet episode, I think, because we are going over the Forget Tomorrow World Tour. It did end recently. While we were on break, we only did one show during February, but we have some great special guests to help us go over it with us today. One of our regular hosts, Jenny, is not with us. She is sick. The flu is definitely going around. So we miss you, Jenny, and we love you. And we hope you feel better. So to introduce you to our hosts today, we have two special guests with us who were with me at the Valentine's Day Chicago show, which was my last show personally. And these ladies were also at other stops on the tour. We have Loyal Lee and we have Kemi. So, hi. Kemi, if you want to introduce yourself, everybody.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Kemi, and I've been a big Justin Timberlake fan since 1993. So during his MMC days, don't add the ages together because I feel old. But yeah, it's been a really great ride, being a fan of him through NSYNC, and also his solo career. So yeah, it's just been an amazing experience, just following him throughout his career and the tours. So I'm just like super excited to be here and finding the community to talk about Justin. So yeah, super excited to be here.
We are really excited to have you. Welcome. All right, and Loyal, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, hello. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm excited to talk with you ladies. I am from Chi-Town originally. I have been a fan of Justin and NSYNC for over 25 years. So it has just been an amazing journey and roller coaster. Going along with him for the ride through the movies and music and everything like that. So it's just been so exciting. And then this tour that's been going on to see all the stops and stuff has just been amazing. So yeah, been a long time fan.
Now this tour has definitely been super special. We had a lot of friends along the way. I met so many people of so many different backgrounds. So thank you, ladies. So both of these ladies were with me in Chicago. I did not get to see Loyal again. I never get to see Loyal. I feel like we were at another show. Don't remember which one, but we missed each other.
Was it Atlanta?
I was going to say, I think Atlanta.
Yeah.
It was Atlanta. I was on the upper bowl. You were floor?
Yep, floor on the right side.
One day. But Chicago was very special. Kelsey was with us as well. Kelsey?
Yes.
I say us because we're the normal hosts. Like, we're not throwing Kelsey in at the end. She's normal host here. We had a really good time. We went to the Valentine's dinner before. That was cute. It was a little hellish getting in. It was horrible getting in.
Oh, man.
It was a hot mess.
It was a hot mess.
It was not great.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
The setup was bad. It was cold. I would not go back to Chicago in the winter for a Justin.
No.
Would not recommend.
But, no, moving on. The dinner was really nice. We got to the floor. We saw a lot of people. I got to meet Philomena for the first time.
Yeah, got to see
very,
Philly.
very happy to see her.
Mm-hmm.
I got to meet Devon face to face is what I'm saying. Faye, Jay, just a lot of people. You may not know these people, the people in the fandom. Lovely, lovely ladies. It was great. Just great to see them.
There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people.
There were a lot of people
for
Valentine's Day.
And I just want to give a quick shout out. I don't know who she is, but it was the mom and her younger daughter that came up to us and gave us bracelets.
Was that
I have
it was
Kathy and Aaliyah.
I had two.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Kathy
they were super
and
nice.
Aaliyah. Yes. And then there
So
was
shout
another
out to
lady
them.
in front of us who gave us these keychains. She had a bag of like keychains, and she had my favorite shirt with the 6-pack on the keychain. Shout out to people. I think that's great. I'm not creative, but I have so many. Do I have it? Hold on. I do this probably every show because I never have my shit together. But I have a bag of bracelets. Like I quite here it is. I don't know who made this, but this lady. Thank you for making these. These are so cute.
Yeah, I forget who that was. I had it written down and I lost it.
Kathy and Aaliyah did Valentine's Day stickers.
Yeah, stickers.
Yeah,
They're so cute and crafty. I love them. Did you guys all see the soap she makes?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, love them.
And then this is a Valentine's Day bracelet. I have a bag full of bracelets. But anyway, that was so wonderful. Because once this show started, I'm gonna be honest with you, B stage was a hot mess. That was probably the worst B stage I've experienced. It was people
There's a lot
almost
going on.
came to blows, and I saw a woman throw a drink on another woman. They ruined Technicolor. They ruined Sanctified.
Yep.
For my last show, I was pretty pissed. So that was negative. Get that out of the way.
Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Okay, you ladies.
I'm sorry. Can we talk a little bit about that in regards to
a little bit.
A little bit. I've been to a lot of shows. Been blessed to go to a lot of shows and had a really great time. And for me, like I was hearing a little bit of stories in regards to people not being the kindest. So I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't think that's true. And then I went to the Portland show and I kind of like experienced that. So that kind of like left a sour taste in my mouth. And I totally agree with Chicago as well. It didn't ruin the entire experience. But it was just kind of interesting, like, going to concerts and never having that type of issues. And, some people were not so friendly. But overall, it was, a great experience. Just seeing everybody come together at that final show for us. But it was really a great time. A great time was had.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Lloyd, what was it like for you down there? I know you were lower bowl.
I'm trying to think if I had any negative experiences. I don't think I really had any negative experiences. I think so most of the shows I tried to get there like 30 minutes before he was about to come on because like I'm an extrovert.
Oh, wow.
But as the shows went on, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it my goal to get there a little bit earlier. So when I got there earlier, which I think like my second earliest was my first show, which was my Chicago show in June. The longer people waited, the more drunk they got.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
at the same time, we had a lot of fun. So thankfully, the people around, they might have been drunk, but they were like definitely dancing, and it was like more so like a friendly kind of vibe. Like, and it was a one. I think that was it. No, my Milwaukee show. My Milwaukee show, I had gone over to greet somebody else in the fandom. I came back. I was trying to come back to my seat. And basically, like, this guy, like, blocked me and was like, you're not getting down here unless you dance. So, like, that's the only, like...
Okay. I'll take that.
I'm like, I'm going to shimmy my way to my seat then, But other than that, like, thankfully, I haven't had any, like, really negative experiences. I think I had, like, the most negative thing I had was probably, and I wouldn't even say there were probably people in, like, the fandom that I saw regularly, was just, like, some crazy looks at, like, my second to last show or whatever. Like, it was, like, they just like were looking weird because my outfit or whatever, but it's like I'm not looking at you. You know what I mean? Right. So that's part. Everything else is pretty good.
People know how to mind their business sometimes. All right. So as far as positive experiences, like I said, it was a great show. I all the shows I went to, I never had a bad show. So there's that. What were some of you ladies' highlights of the show for you?
I think for me, it's like the first show that I went to, which was Seattle, and then like the second to last, which
Chicago. Boo.
Oh, in Chicago.
Yeah, we're just talking about Chicago right
now. Okay. So favorite experience. It was a really bittersweet moment because I knew it was the last show for us. But just like being around you guys and like everyone near us was singing the songs and just like sharing that experience was really great. And being in the B stage was a different kind of experience. I just really loved how we all kind of like came together and we were laughing and joking and just having like a really good time as much as we can. One particular moment, actually a couple of moments, is when he was performing on the B stage. He kind of kept looking at us, but not really saying anything. And at first I was like, is he looking at us? Like, or is he looking at someone next to me? Like, I was kind of like psyching myself out. And then I was like, no, he's definitely looking at us. So I was just like, okay, that's cool.
I think he was struggling to read the signs. When I look at some of the videos, I look at the lighting we were in. So, and I have, you know, when I went through the video, when he smiled at me, Kelsey signed, you know, so his face would get real tight. And then his face lit up because he was trying to read it. So I have the screen captures of him saying, I know he need glasses, so I know he wasn't out there with the contacts. He was
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was nice once he got there. Things settled right before he got there. It was
No, so I guess the best experience for me, I mean, of course, being with you guys were so much fun, and I couldn't believe I was spending time with you guys, and I got to meet you guys finally. And B stage was definitely a wonderful experience. It was my second B stage experience. Mirrors was definitely a big highlight for me. I think I prefer that more than, I mean, I love Blocky. I love when he did it on the monolith, but B stage Mirrors was just incredible. I think that was one of my favorite moments from Chicago.
Yeah, I was sure at that point he was gonna do it because he had stopped doing it.
I was too, but I wasn't
right.
Sure.
You're not sure until it happens.
He's like, surprise,
and we waited. Oh. He was like, surprise. Yeah. That was kind of, I'll get into that. That kind of was like weird for me in Denver, but in Chicago, it was perfect. Because he saw my necklace again. I feel like it's a beacon at this point. A rhinestone fell off and almost had a heart attack, but I glued it back on. Because the seller's not making this necklace anymore. So if it falls apart, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to keep it intact till the next one. But Chicago, overall, was great. It was really cold, but it was super hot. I was sweating.
Yeah, I was sweating so bad too.
Going to get into the show. I had a great time. Chicago was a great final show. It was hard being the final show for me because I just don't do festivals. The Napa Valley looks fun. I'm really not in the Napa Valley game right now, but that would probably be the only one. So I'll just have to wait till he does another arena tour. But unfortunately, the tour itself is over. He's not considering the festivals as a part of the tour.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pivot a little bit and get into the opening of the show. That's one of my favorite parts. My favorite parts is the opening of the show.
Mine too.
Same.
It's a very iconic. I think it's his best opening. It's a very iconic opening. So what are some of you guys' thoughts and feelings on the show?
I absolutely loved it. I remember the first show for me was Seattle, and for some reason I was like a little bit nervous. Like, obviously I wasn't the one performing, but you know, it had been a while since I had seen him in concert, so I was just, you know, feeling a little bit nervous. But as soon as those lights hit and you know, that began, like it was over for me. Like my mind was lost. And it was just really great. It was an amazing opening. I really liked how he kind of went a little bit back in time and kind of like explaining his career and everything, and just basically saying, I'm still here. Like, I'm still in the game. This is who I am. Respect me. You know, I really enjoyed it, and it kind of like reintroduced, but also let people know that he's still killing it. And every time I see it, I never get tired of it. I remember the last show in Chicago and just like feeling a little teary eyed, like, oh my God, this is the end of it. But yeah, he definitely came to prove something, even though he doesn't have to. But at the end of the day, it was a really great introduction.
Yeah, I love the intro. The Chicago show for Valentine's Day, I brought my brother with me. So it was his first Justin Timberlake concert ever.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so much fun. So I knew what to expect. So he was still like watching the beautifulness that was on the screen as everything's going. And you can kind of hear in the background of my video, and I'm like, look over there, you know, and to look at him coming up, he's like, oh, you know. So, and almost all of my, like when I got the little snippet of the beginning for any of my recordings, pretty much, I'm just like, fine. He's just so fine. Look at him.
Yeah.
I love those pictures. It's like
that larger than life opening is just like,
oh man.
I said, sir, yes, just be fine. So I and then especially when it like blacks out around him and it's just like this region, you know?
Yep.
Perfection. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Kelsey?
Yeah, same. That intro, it gets me emotional every single time I see it. Like Chicago, I almost fell apart. It just makes me so happy to see him doing so well in this tour, and just you can tell it's a retrospective of his career, and he's looking back, and you know, it's been a while since he toured last, so I think it had to have been emotional for him as well. And like even like before he's playing Let's Stay Together by Al Green, and then it blacks out and then the intro starts, like even that, it gets my heart racing every single time, because it's just the anticipation of seeing him on stage. And then of course he pops up in the middle, and you know, that close up of his beautiful face and those beautiful blue eyes, like gets me every single time. And that curly hair, like it's so iconic. I think it is one of his best intros to his show.
Yeah, they really did design it very well. The you know, the opening with Let's Stay Together, and the drawing into the mirror blocky contraption, whatever that, like a different portal kind of feel.
Yeah,
Beyonce
it felt like a
did something
portal.
very similar to that during the Renaissance tour. It really sets up that feeling of anticipation. You're going into another world for a couple of hours. So very well done. I remember in Tampa, you know, just seeing it, because, you know, I don't care how many TikToks or whatever you see, it's nothing like being there.
No.
I remember seeing it for the first time, and it was the trench coat. I got hit with the trench coat in Tampa for the first time, and oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I said, I know now why people used to pass out when Michael Jackson on the stage, because I thought I was gonna fall out.
Yes.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, that opening is great. And speaking of the trench coat, we can get into some of the fashion. We've been over this, you know, quite a few times during the show. I think the fashion was a leg up. Man of the Woods was a lot more casual. I mean, we had some good looks at Man of the Woods. We saw arms. We struggled during the Forget Tomorrow World Tour to see arms.
Yeah.
During the summer, we would see legs, but we would never get both at the same time.
No, it's either one or the other.
I'm modest. Nobody asked for that. Just say.
Sorry, Mika.
That's how I'm modest. Nobody asked him for that.
Yeah.
Very true.
No, even during 4th of July, the man was sweating buckets.
Oh man.
I can only imagine.
Right, we got arms, but we didn't get legs. Like, we can't do both. That's too much. Their HUDs will pop off, probably. I know, whatever. I don't know.
Maybe he was trying to pressure us, so like you said, so we wouldn't pass out.
Right, yeah.
Oh man.
But if you had to pick a favorite look, what would it be for the entire tour?
Oh man, I mean, for me, it would be a tie between the trench coat and the orange glasses. I don't think he wore them on stage, but I've seen photos of it. So that, and the bedazzled suit. I really enjoyed it. I forget which.
The orange glasses, the red glasses.
Orange, red, yeah. Well,
yeah, he did. He
orange,
wore it in Tampa, the night of Tampa. That's all. I was like, oh my God, that man was so.
Yes, and I forget who did he work with? Was it Versace or Gucci, or I forget which one? When they were doing,
I think it was Gucci.
Gucci, okay,
Gucci,
with that photo shoot, like fantastic.
We saw
like
that suit one time, which is a real shame, real shame. I also like the butterscotch jacket he wore in Brooklyn. We never saw that again either. Kelsey saw it in person, but we never did. I thought that was really nice. Maybe it was too hot because it looked like it was leather.
Yeah.
Probably the trench coat. Yeah.
The sparkly suit and when he wore the white shirt briefly.
Just white shirt. Just that one moment in time. And then
we got
it a couple of times, but it was so spread out. It was so sporadic. What was the look? Well, I think you probably answered this, but what was the look you wish you'd had seen in person?
Oof.
Purple suit.
No, that he wore, but you wish. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. I'm gonna be mad, but I meant a look he wore that, like, you wish you'd been in the audience when he wore it.
The sparkly suit.
For the July show, so that I could see the way that he wore what he wore in person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That one.
Same.
Right. The see-through white shirt. What a time.
You got it.
God bless him.
I mean, no, I was just saying too, like, on the flip side of that, the one that I did not enjoy was the shorts, or khaki shorts, or whatever you want to call them.
I don't think most of us like the shorts. It would have worked if he had no jacket.
Honestly, every time he wore it,
schoolboy.
Yes, and it also reminded me of like Dropkick Murphys, or like, was it AC/DC? Like, it was just not giving. Like, I love you, Justin, but it wasn't working for me.
I expected him to wear. We had whole conversations about those two.
We've had many conversations about the songs.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand why you had to wear a jacket with it. Like, I know it's hot, so why?
I agree. The jacket would have been. I would have done without the jacket. Yeah.
But you know what? I kind of get it, because he's 44, he's in his 40s, and things change. I mean, in the beginning of the shows, he may have been like, I can wear anything. And then once you start getting deep into it, you're like, maybe I want to change this, or wear something that's more comfortable. I think that's what was going on, and wanted to change it up a bit.
Well, I get that part. The socks, if he didn't have it, there was no point in the jacket. Like, it's hot, it's Europe, it's the summer. Take the jacket off, bro. Like,
well, plus you've got all those lights on you too. That creates heat. Right. So
he will just be pouring buckets, but he will keep her jacket on the whole
yelling
time.
at those lives. Take the jacket off.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's a question. I would just. Is it? I don't know. So I guess we settled what look didn't work. I didn't even have to ask that question. I wish he had trusted his designer, Jason Bolden, a little more, who called him on the carpet and said he could be really picky, which is fine. But Jason had some very colorful things, and I just want to know why Justin was like, I don't want any color.
Ooh.
So
I think I have a hot take on this.
Okay.
I think I may have a hot take. I think that he's gotten to a point in his career where, number one, he doesn't have to prove anything. He is who he is. He's amazing. But he's also a father. He's also a husband. And maybe at this point, he's kind of like, maybe I do be a little bit modest. I don't know. There are some times where he's like straddling that line of like
purple colors. I'm not asking.
I know. There are some days where he's like super, modest and whatever, which is fine. And there are other days where he's just like on the edge of just like, and I'm like, ooh, I wish you would, but it's just like, I don't know.
Agree, but
I mean, that could be the reason why. That could be the reason why he added that song that shall not be named, because I do not enjoy anymore. But it is what it is. Justice for what lovers do. That's all I'm going to say.
For the tour, I would just like to see different colors more. I don't know what he has against that anymore. We did see a little more variety in Man of the Woods. I don't know. I wish he trusted Jason a little more, because some of it was very nice that he picked out, and apparently he just was
I mean, the
Jason watch
dancers
them
had more
needed work.
variety than he did. I'm just like, I don't.
I would have even liked to see them in more color, but they had more variety to their clothing, that's for sure. All right, so moving along, next thing is the play aisle. The play aisle was a main attraction. I feel like the play aisle is the reason why you kept getting sick, because people are grabby and touchy and blah, 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 blah. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the reasons.
Right. It brought a lot of fun and engagement. Most of the time, it went very smoothly. I mean, we have to keep in mind this man did 94 tours. I can count on one hand where people got weird. Right. What were some of your thoughts on the play aisle?
I enjoyed it. I remember, again, at the first show and being like surprised, like, oh, okay, he's doing that. And I understand it because you want to try different things in order to reach out to your audience. Not every artist does that, so I appreciate it, because I was trying to figure out how he was going to get on the stage, so, you know, that's the answer. I think after a while, once you start getting into the tour, people realize, like, okay, this is going to happen. And like you said, I can count on my fingers the time it went a little bit crazy. But I think overall, it was great. It was exciting to see. I don't think he needs to do that for any future tours. That's just my opinion. Especially, you know, have a lot of hand sanitizer on hand for that. But I think it was a nice ad. Yeah, so.
I feel like he's going to do something, because he's always a man that likes to one up himself. So,
yeah.
You know, I know he's going to do, so I don't know what it is, but I know he's going to do it. Loyal, what did you think?
I loved it. My daughter got some interaction on the play aisle, which was awesome. And the tours before that that I had seen, I love the fact that people that were on the sides, like they for sure got his attention. Like whether it was they got to sign, a lot of people got to show shirts and stuff. He had a little bit more time to kind of pause, like even got a chance to talk to some people and all of that or whatever. I absolutely love that part of it. I think the only thing that I would have liked is if like security were also traveling next to the dancers, like maybe make the aisles a little larger, because I don't think Madison had to do as much as she did. Like that was kind of
right.
She could have really.
I think. Yeah, it's funny. I think when they signed up for the job, that was kind of like, hey, look, listen, you're also going to get bras. One of my favorite was, Madison, because Madison did say she's seen the podcast before. If you're watching, I'm so sorry. I laughed at you when you got hit in the head with a bra.
But Madison's the MVP, because it couldn't be me doing that job.
But unfortunately, with the way the arenas are designed, they really can't. I mean, they can't make the aisles but so big without sacrificing seats. And then if the security travels a whole way, it cuts into the band and it'll cut into the dancers. So it kind of turns into an aesthetic thing, unfortunately. I mean, the worst, and like I said, there's 94 shows. I can't keep track of everything. I did know someone who had like this lady, it was a few, like the second row up, and this lady was like clawing to get to him, and she had a beer in one hand and she was spilling the beer all over this lady's hat. I felt so bad. So when you do that, you interrupt people's interactions. Another one was a night in Tampa. I was very, very hurt because I had a play aisle row. I was like one over, and the girl was super nice and kind of let me scoot in. And that was the night where this lady reached right under his it was right under his shirt. Right, it was right under his jacket, and then security stepped in, and then she reached right under his shirt, and
I remember that. Yeah,
smacked her away, and I was like,
he smacked her hand. Yeah,
he did. So he really shot up the play aisle, and then he really shot down the Can't Stop the Feeling, and I just got eyes on camera. He didn't really interact with anyone. I was crushed because she ruined it for everyone that night, because he was just like, I'm not touching anybody.
Yeah, if Justin Timberlake smacks your hand away,
I would
do
die.
Not want that.
I would die.
That's not a good look at all.
Sometimes
you don't want
I
to piss him off.
Yeah, sometimes I felt like security, like when she reached into the jacket, maybe security should have stepped up because the second one was a little was dangerous. I'd never seen anything like that. Last, I can't remember what show it was. It was one of the final show. I think it was a show before Columbus. This lady was rabid. I mean, she was screaming. She had a leg over the barrier, which is crazy. I never saw anyone get a leg over the barrier. And I'm like, ma'am, what were you trying to do?
Right.
Are you trying to? And to me, security was very slow. Madison held off this woman.
Absolutely.
Lady put her in a headlock. Security was not fast enough for me on that one. That was pretty dangerous. So I don't, if you see some of the videos from Usher, he had a couple of similar encounters where people like snatched the mic out of his hand and people are crazy.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to think about on the next tour. I'm sure he'll still do an interaction, but how that's going to
go.
Yeah, he's going to one-up himself next tour. It's just how he's going to do it. I mean, I liked it, but yeah, there's just too many risks of grabby people. And, it was just a little bit of a risk for him.
And I guess it depends on how much they want to take on. Because I feel like Madison was fighting for her life. And Jaden was just like,
yes. Oh my God, Jaden.
Yeah. Because it's like, you have to like, it's so crazy because you have to dance and also like put the girl in a headlock, but also like not be too rough. And like, I couldn't do that. So God bless her. She deserves all the praise for that.
Yeah. I hope she got a bonus that week or something because that was crazy.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like past what you were seeing, and then like you slowed it down and watched it back. It was really quite hysterical. The other bandmates are like, I really hope they work this out before I come through. But I just wish they had been quicker. So the play aisle leads into B stage, which is a good time. Which eventually, I mean, he sings a lot of great songs. I love play. It's fun. It's playful. But leads into the flame jump, which the flame jump had a lot of excitement. Drama. I don't know if you're aware of the drama. Competition. Mostly friendly. Sometimes not. I was the recipient of the flame jump. Well, by the time it got to me, it was a flame stroll.
Flame
yes.
stroll.
That's why I'm laughing. Yeah, because he's tied.
It started off as I encouraged him not to. Because, like, okay, not to call him out, but I saw him do a jump one time, and he leaned into this. He braced himself against this lady's arm, and the whole time I'm like, he gonna fall in this lady's face. It was so ambitious and exciting. I mean, what a way to go! Justin Timberlake actually fell on me during the flame jump. I'm sure she wouldn't have been upset about that, which has been a little embarrassing for him. But it was great. I mostly did not hear a whole lot of negativity. There was some competition, of course, that's gonna happen. It's some controversy about, well, if he jumps in your face and you don't know the flame jump, did you deserve it?
No.
I don't know.
I mean,
say how you really feel.
That's a whole other topic. I'm just saying, if you're, because again, stage B was very expensive. It wasn't cheap. So if you're paying that amount, I'm assuming a little bit of the discography and history, but you don't. That's okay. But there is a chance he is going to give you the flame jump, and if you don't know the lyrics, then yeah.
Well, it took a while for it to trend because I don't think people really knew like what it was. I don't remember what show it caught on like later on. It took a few shows for people to catch on, like, oh, you get to rap with him. Like, okay, like, because people, I think, were just kind of standing there, like they didn't know what to do.
Well,
it was kind of awkward, but
it did and it didn't. Let's take it back for a minute. And here's why I say this: the night before the show, he posted one of my favorite IG stories,
Janiera's
where he introduced us to the flame jump during rehearsals. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, why that was so special, but yeah. And then the first night, from my understanding, he did it in the opening of the tour. There was controversy about that. He jumped in this, and this lady was like a statue. Like, she was like not shocked at all. And people were like, well, what's going on? So she was like a prototype. From what I heard, she was a family friend, and he did it kind of like, this is how this goes. So it was introduced very early. The competition ramped up a little later.
Yeah.
I did not see a whole lot of people not know, and like you're saying, it's because you pay for Barstool in America, those Barstool prices are tough. So I don't know why you pay. Plus, people have signs, people have shirts, so you're inviting him over. He's looking for the people that want him to come over.
Exactly.
I saw it once. And I believe in this girl's heart she knew it, but she got really
nervous.
And let me tell you, when he's in your face like that, I was surprised I knew my first name.
Right.
So she was really into it. He wasn't really offended. The worst I saw was he jumped in this lady's face and she kept trying to shove a sign in his face. It was very bizarre. And I was like, he can see it. Like, he sees it. Like, go away. And then he finally gave up trying to rap with her and just turned to somebody else and let them do the what the fuck. So you could tell he was frustrated. I think there was one other time after that where he completely turned his back on this girl. And it was just because she just didn't know it. And I was like, I don't really know why you would invite this man over, you know. And then I understand nerves. But once he's there, now you got to put up or you got to shut up. Like, he's in your face. I don't care if you have to mumble through it. She didn't have anything. He just completely turned his back on her, and I was like, oh, I would die. And now people have this on camera. So,
like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah,
to have him turn his back.
I had people with me, but when I saw the video, first of all, I don't remember how it went. Because you pretty much black out most of it. Right. And your body's on autopilot. And I brought it back. I was like, wow, I really did remember the words. This is great. But I was lucky I had people with me. But it's always a good time. Like I said, very rarely did people would get kind of competitive with it. Some people thought they were more deserving. Which is weird, but only some men. He did it 94 times, so very cool stuff.
I'm glad he stopped jumping though, so he doesn't like injure himself.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not next tour jump off of anything because we're not a spring chicken anymore. I'm 33. I'm not jumping anywhere. So I was just so afraid he would fall on someone.
Yeah. No, I was just saying too.
I can only imagine you jumping.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking back to the show in Mexico City as well. And like, I don't even remember how I looked or how I acted. Like I knew the song, but like just looking back at the video, it was just all a blur to me because he was like that up close. And I had my sign and everything. So it was just an amazing experience. But I think in general, when you go to these shows and, I don't expect anything. Like he can pick whoever he chooses and hopefully he chooses someone that he has that connection with. And I know in the beginning of those shows, you're just trying things out and seeing how things are. But I would say by halfway or like near towards the end of it, you should kind of know what's up or what's going on, in my opinion. So, but I think he stopped jumping, which was great because I'm like, listen, I'm not even doing anything and I'm tired just watching you perform. So let's stop with the jumping. I don't think anyone will be mad about it. That's why you have dancers and everything like that. So I would perfectly like to see him sit on a bar stool in the future, but that's just me. But I know he's going to bring something bigger and better on his next tour. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, if he sits on the bar stool, I'm going to kindly request those tickets be like $75 because,
just sit on
I want him to take it easy, but if the prices ain't going down, then maybe a little hop, skip, and a click of the heel would be nice, and then you can sit
Yes, do not get me started on the. Oh my God, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it because
if he falls, I'm sure at some point somebody would have caught him. Wouldn't have been great for the web, but We'd have been all right. We'd have been okay.
Mhm.
So speaking of which, one of my favorite parts is like the special effects. I always do this. We skip right past the news. So it's not a whole lot of news. I always do that. It's right there.
I know.
So we did have the news recently. He announced he was going to be in a concert in Switzerland. More festivals.
More
like, bruh,
festivals.
I want more festivals. Get your ass in the booth. But here he is.
There you go.
Going to more festivals is it's a hip hop festival. Their headliner
Interesting.
is Justin. Interesting. He opens it on Thursday. I think Young Thug is on Friday, and 50 Cent will be on Saturday. I always wanted to go to Switzerland. I looked at the prices for a festival. I was like, wow. Wow.
So
Switzerland's hot.
he should do Liar there. That would be smart.
He should.
Mm.
It's going to be really interesting to see what the tour set list is. It would be,
Yeah.
I am hoping, since he made no changes but cuts, we'll talk about that, I'm sure. No changes but cuts, that it would be really nice to see in addition. I have a feeling, we'll get into that in a minute. I have a feeling I know what's going to stay and what's not, but it would be nice to see things like Liar. I don't think What Lovers Do will make it. Slow songs typically are not fair for festivals, so I don't think that's going to make it. But yeah, so if you were in Switzerland from July 10th, I think, through 12th, then go on.
Listen, Switzerland is expensive on its own, so as soon as I heard it, I was like, no way. There's ain't no way I'm going.
It's a beautiful place, but it'll cost you.
It is.
Also, recently, Brazil is so excited. They are so excited to have him. They haven't had him in a while. And Selfish was recently certified gold in Brazil. So they are streaming his music, and they can't wait. I forgot the date, but they can't wait for him to arrive.
Yeah.
Kelsey, what was this other streaming data you had, hon?
So streaming data, Drown has now surpassed 28 million streams on Spotify. Strawberry Bubblegum has now surpassed 39 million streams on Spotify.
That's so random.
So random.
It's an amazing song.
It is an amazing song. And No Angels surpassed 17 million streams on Spotify.
Love it. Love it.
All right, so jumping back into, I think that's all we have for news. He's been pretty chill. Unfortunately, the last show of the concert was canceled because he was extremely ill. That was really devastating for everyone.
That
so
was really so devastating. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, we just really hope he gets better, and I felt bad for everyone who arrived, all the dancers, because they thought they were going to have one less rodeo, and it didn't happen, so I felt really bad for them. So, yeah, that hit the news, as we all know. We just hope he gets better, and hopefully he will have a healthy festival run, because you're going to be outside all summer. So
I hope
sweating
so.
all summer.
Get your shots, drink your juice, and go about your business. So one of my favorite parts of the tour was the special effects and the lighting. And this is kind of interesting because my first few shows were on the floor. So when you're on the floor, you're just really looking at him on the main stage. In Atlanta at the end of the summer, was it the end of the summer? Or was that November?
I think so. November.
I went to November show. It wasn't the end of my dates are messed up. So by November was the first time I was in like Lower Bowl. And the lighting, some of like the first time I got to see Technicolor from the Lower Bowl was really cool.
Oh, I love Technicolor.
Really cool. I was like, I didn't see all this on the floor because you're looking up at him. So the light manipulation was really good. Everybody loves Blocky. I was fortunate I got to experience Blocky twice. It rendered me one of my best moments because he could really see everybody. I remember one of my friends, he had a staring contest with her. It was wild. So he could really, he could see. the only thing about Blocky is I will say the first night in the Tampa, I was off to the right, so I wasn't directly under him. But he got to see my cotton candy shirt at the last minute when it retreated. I was so excited. When I was in Orlando, and the thing, I was right in the middle, and it comes over. That felt very Final Destination to me because
it does.
For the first time, I realized I really do trust this man with my life because this thing is terrifying. It's terrifying. People are like, you're not afraid? I was like, I was not until it was over my head. But
yeah, that's crazy. Just oh man.
Right? But it's just really beautiful. It's so well designed. He has a lot. It was a lot of work was put into it, and I want people to understand that as much as I wanted him to add songs, he found a way to cut down 2 songs, which I'm never really going to be pleased about. But when you look at the technical aspect of this show, it would be incredibly hard to move songs in and out without drastically changing a lot of the technology you're working with, people having to go in and redesign whole sections of the show. So it wasn't that easy for them to move things in and out. What was some of you guys' favorite special effects?
I'm trying to think, like, one of my favorites. Obviously, Blocky as well. I was at the Montreal show, and he was literally over my head, which was like scary and thrilling at the same time.
Right.
But I think one of the ones that I really enjoyed was Future Sex Love Sound.
Yes,
with the mic stand.
The mic stand.
I mean, I don't need to explain much, but
it is rigged. I take that back.
It was a good time. Hitting the mic stand, like
the lights, but I also like the mic stand. Who are we kidding?
Exactly. Yeah. So that one was really great. I really, really loved Drown. I think that was it was simple, but yet super effective to it, especially with the transition into Crimea River. I think that was really great. And it just really shows his like production and professionalism. Like, I think a lot of people focus on the singing and the dancing, which is great too, but just how he's able to kind of like reintroduce the songs. Because I think he realized, like, you know, he's been in the game for so long, and some of these fans, it's their first time seeing him. So it was a great way to reintroduce those songs. And it also too with Sexy Back, I think that was really great as well. I mean, there were so many great moments where he just he was able to tie the songs in together and kind of make them fresh and new, like hearing them for the first time. So yeah, like round of applause for that, because that was just amazing.
Yeah. I would say Favorite Drug was one of my favorite ones. It's similar in the color aspect as Technicolor, but it's got like type of deal similar to Effing Up the Disco, which I love. And then I think also Crimea River, because like impressed with the color, like the end of the song, as opposed to like as the song is going on. So I'm like holding my breath, hoping like they're not gonna get hit in the head, because then it because
it spins.
I'm like, it's a little close, ain't it?
I'm like, oh yes, it was above us. Like I think 3 of my shows, I think he was above me. So the first one, I was freaking out all the way up until, you know, and so, but then like, then he was over me. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me breathe and let me enjoy this. Like Justin is right. You know what I mean? So those are probably my favorites.
Yeah. Infinity Sex would always, like, when he would come from under the thing, I would be like, oh. When I saw it in Atlanta, I swear to God, for a split second, I was like, he gonna hit himself in the head, because he was right.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Oh no.
It's, you know, obviously they did it so much, they rehearsed it so much, they knew, but I was always like, whew. The thing is that it was really great. That's a great segue into our next segment, was literally about the monolith. You know, it has a lot of purposes. I was lucky that all the venues that I was at could hold it. Some of the venues could not hold it, just because it's such a big piece of technology. They'd had a really good video, I think, on the Tennessee Kids about the engineers that designed it and all that it, you know, took to work. We called it Blocky. Okay, the professional government name his father gave him was a monolith. That is
Blocky is his name.
Birth certificate.
Yeah, Blocky is his name.
He has got
Huh?
Blocky Bloxton Timberlake, but
Blocky Timberlake.
Oh, I love that.
I loved the term Blocky. I prefer to call him the monolith. I think it's just a little more hood, a little more. It is what he is. It's a huge structure that changes lights and themes and all of that. And like I said, I was grateful to experience mirrors. And like Kemi was saying, just the reinvention. You know, mirrors he's been doing for 15 years. Cry Me a River he's been performing for over 20 years. So when you think of it that way, he can't come out there and pop lock it like he used to. Like he's got to do something else.
I mean, he tried a couple of times.
He could.
He tried.
They add a little.
Right. And it's great, but we need a little razzle dazzle. That's all I'm saying. After 20 years, some of us have seen it before. So, and that's what it accomplishes. I'm never going to be mad at it because I had 2 interactions with him on there where I was like, God, each time I was by the stage, and I know both times he was like trying to read the shirt or trying to look at the necklace with all the lights, but then when he's up there, he can see everybody. So that is always just such, it was a cool feature. I would like to see it come back, but my gut says he probably won't.
The other thing I love about Blocky, I feel like since like the NSYNC days, they've always loved that height because it gets
Oh yeah.
So I had
that's true.
Because of when they were up so high and far out at Soldier Field in Chicago, like he waved at me from all the way in the center. So he can see so much further and closer because it takes him a little further out. You know what I mean? So and I was the picture and video from one of my other shows. I'm like, oh, I didn't think he saw me on Blocky, but I was looking at the video and the picture back, and I'm like, oh my God, he's looking dead at me. Gives him a better, like exactly what you said, like gives him a better view. Like some of the lights are below him at that point. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I love that.
It definitely does. I am sorry for the people that didn't experience this, but I don't know, I'm not a spokesperson. I'm just going to say, I really do believe it started affecting his back. He's had back problems for years now, before this tour.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
That's true.
Just, being an entertainer. And I think after a while, even though he was strapped in, and when you see at the angles they're pretty much hanging him at, that takes an incredible amount of core strength to hang at that angle and sing for a sustained amount of time.
Yeah,
exactly. And you bring a really good point on that too, in regards to like his back injuries, because by the time I saw him in Mexico City, I had seen mirrors, 1,000 times, and I think to that point I was just like, okay, maybe he'll do something else. So he was able to go onto the B stage and perform, and I really think he enjoyed that crowd and also enjoyed not being on Blocky. I totally get it. Like to the point where near the end of the song, he started crying, and he tried to like hide it. But obviously, he really felt the love and kind of like, I think there was a recognition with him that he didn't really have to try so hard, because he's an icon and people were giving him that love. So as much as I appreciate the Blocky and I felt very privileged to see it many times, I think he's going to do maybe something completely different. But I think this definitely cemented just like how amazing he is as producer and coming up with ideas for the show. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens in the future. So
yeah, it was unfair to me. I did not like to see some of the slander that came at the end as far as him not using Blocky. I thought it was just mean. It did not take into account that the man had done over 80 shows on this thing. People were very upset. People were like, well, I paid, blah, blah, blah. Well, what you paid for was to see Justin Timberlake. That is what you paid. Yeah. There's no guarantee. Artists make multiple changes throughout their tour all the time. They all do it because they are not robots. Some things work and some things don't. They have to change it. So that was not fair.
Agreed.
And like I said, he has to do what's best for him. I do not want him to continue to do that and his back go out and then he doesn't perform again. That is insane.
No.
Right.
We don't want that.
That is insane. But, it is what it is. People have a problem with everything, so. B stage is great. I would see him fall out on the floor on B stage. I'll be honest with you. I think he was just trying to take a break. But
oh yeah, he deserves it. I mean, there were.
I'm just gonna lay right here for about 10 seconds. Oh.
I mean, that's why he was playing a lot. I think a lot of slower songs. He's like, all right, I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to stand, and I'm like, do you, boo? I'm perfectly fine with it.
Well,
so
if he needed a break, he could have always added What Lovers Do. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's
exactly.
So our next. Let me skip that. No, I'm kidding. So what were some of your favorite moments on the tour? It can be yours. It can be somebody else's. It doesn't matter.
Ooh. I mean, obviously the flame jump, because I got it in Mexico City, so that was a really great experience. So for me, like, I never came in like expecting to get anything. Like, I was just like happy to be there. So coming into the show, I was like super excited, and I was like, you know what? I should just treat this as if my last show. Let me go all out. So I made a big old sign. That was actually bigger than I thought it was. So I was just like, ugh. But it worked out. And we did the flame jump, and it was great. Okay.
You want to tell them what your sign was?
Don't judge me. Okay. So the sign said, it was a question for him. It said, flame jump or sign my tits.
What did he choose?
He chose the flame jump, and I'm perfectly happy with that. Okay, I had a pen ready for me, just in case. But he was like, you know what, we're gonna do the flame jump. I was like, cool, we did it. It was great, and that's all she wrote. So that was a really fun experience. I just love him interacting with the crowd. Just asking questions or like signing things for people, doing the selfie. That was a cute moment. I enjoyed that. Especially like seeing like little kids, like he would like make an effort to like interact with them, whether it's like a high five or like pointing them out. So I think that was really cool too. And I know I talk a lot about Mexico City, but like there were during Mirrors, like someone had thrown a flag earlier onto the stage. It almost hit him, and he was just like, oh,
yeah.
But he was fun. But at the end, when Mirrors came, he had the flag, and he was kind of like waving it and showing his love for everyone. And that's when he cried at the end. So I thought that was really sweet. But yeah, there was a lot of really good moments. But those were like my top two, I would say.
All right, Kelsey, what was some of your favorite moments?
Oh, I mean, well, this is my first time ever seeing Justin in concert, like ever going on one of his tours. So Vegas was my first show. I tried to take in every single moment. Like, I was cheesing so hard at Sexy Back because I never thought I'd hear that live. And Future Sex Love Sounds is my second favorite album of his. So that was really exciting, Drown into Cry Me a River. Like, I took everything in, and then, I got my first Timber touch in Brooklyn, which was crazy because I never thought I would. I just held up my hand. I didn't think he would ever touch my hand.
That's one of my favorite videos, y'all. Y'all have not seen this video, but he comes by.
My hand legit froze.
And she's like, and you just see a hand. Like what?
Oh man.
So cute.
Oh man. And then, Chicago was such a good time too. He looked at, our signs, Janiera, and that was just us freaking out. And then,
we're still waiting, bro. You read the slide. Come to the podcast. You read it.
Come on down.
I'm still waiting to hear from Donnie. Come on.
Yes. And then he looked at me several times during Mirrors, which I wasn't paying attention in Chicago when he did Mirrors from B Stage. And he's glaring at me, and I'm just like, what is going on? So, and I didn't realize until I looked back and watched the video. So, but yeah, I've met some incredible people on this tour, you guys, and just, it's been an absolute incredible ride. So can't wait for the next tour.
Loyal, what's my favorite moments, hon?
So I have a favorite from like each show. But I say favorite one at my first show was obviously talking to Justin. I was not expecting
I
that.
remember that.
That was crazy. I don't know
Yeah, that was so early. I forgot.
That was
about
early.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
June
That was
27th.
when the cotton candy theme was going around for sure.
Ooh.
Yep. So I don't know how in the world I talked to him. Like it's like with him being in your face, like it's like everything. Nobody else was there. Like I don't know what happened,
Those eyes.
Right.
but it was just. But yeah, so like that was one of my favorites, and then trying to think what else. Then in my Wisconsin show, like he at effing up the disco, like I had like a disco theme thing or whatever. So like he turned around literally and sang like the beginning of that song straight to me, and I thought my phone was like steady, so I only got the first part looking like directly at me, and then it's like my phone goes like this. And I
Yeah.
Yes, I
Same.
hate that. Oh, I hate that.
oh my god, his hand was still, and the rest of me was dancing, but clearly the rest of me was going with it. And
Yes.
Atlanta, my favorite part, I think of the show, and just like that experience was meeting quite a bit of people in the fandom at the Atlanta show. My second
How did that not happen? But you weren't in our photo. You weren't in our group photo either.
all of the photos besides my last Chicago show. That's the only one I made it to. Like I'm time challenged, so you know that's the struggle. But yeah, the Milwaukee show was with my daughter interacting with him, which was so dope. That's with her and everything. I would have read her. And then I was saying my second Chicago show, that the Valentine's one was watching my brother just have a blast. Like he loved Senorita, and him and Devin had a little internet rivalry.
Really? See? Yeah, she's my girl, but that's one of my favorite songs. I don't.
Same.
Yeah,
I don't like the hate. It is what it is.
That's my song.
Walked up to her after the show. He was like, "You don't like Senorita, don't you?" And she was like, "No." And everything, so it was good later, or whatever. So I said their internet beef was squashed.
Oh.
But yeah. And then just seeing other people in the fandom too, like have interaction and watching my daughter and my brother like experience for themselves all the stuff I would come home and talk about and like show them clips of and stuff, and like them seeing themselves, like the dancers interacting and the musicians interacting and Justin looking and stuff. They're like, oh my God, he really is looking. Like, yes, like
Awesome.
Thought we were making this up.
Oh yeah.
That's so interesting. Because I forget sometimes how long he's been in the game. So like I'll go to these shows and I'll look around and there'll be like a 10-year-old next to me, and then I'll see like someone my age, and then I'll see like grandparents, and I'm like, oh yeah, like he has been around for like such a long time, and it's just really cute seeing like little kids discover like the songs, or like people that have come for the first time. So I think I'm just so appreciative of him continuing to do what he loves, and I love that for him, and finding, new audiences, and also, with his day ones too. So I think that's another great experience that I had during the show. So yeah.
He has a multi-generational reach, which is so great.
Yeah, very much so. I would be surprised to see. I would see people in their 60s and 70s, and it was interesting because I had a couple I was talking to outside when I was waiting for the bar stool, and they had brought like the 4 top tables. It was 2 older couples. These people were in their 60s and 70s, and I don't really know if they like listened to his music a whole lot. They were just like, I just know like I saw some of the clips, and he's just such a good performer, and some of his original music was really good, and they were just really into it. So I was like, his new album is great too. But it was just like they just knew that he was a solid performer, and regardless, they were gonna have a good time. So, and those tabletops are not cheap. So if you were able to convince people to pay those, and they're like, I don't really know the music, they were definitely paying to have a good time.
Listen, the bar stools weren't, cheap as well too. Like I was just happy to be in that area with general admission. Like, I mean, I love you, Justin, but oof.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't.
2 steps away from my OnlyFans when I bought my bar stool. That's all I'm gonna say.
Listen.
It's crazy. It's craziness. Man. I mean, obviously my favorite moments are going to be all of my moments. I'm not sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
Whatever. But I think my Barstool buddies are gonna hate me. But I had posted these, like, even more than the flame jump was just him taking the time to like remind me that he saw me. Like, did you see me? See you a few days before?
Mhm.
That was incredible to me. He even remembered it from a few days before, and then he just wanted to take the time to say that. I think that is just a sentiment of who he is. That even, I mean, you saw it all the time when he was with NSYNC in his early career, that he still takes the time to say thank you to the people that continue to show up for him and support his music. So that was definitely one of my favorite moments. That was very special. The flame jump, it's so weird. People are like, I don't remember a lot about the flame jump. I remember him shaking my hand. I remember him smiling at me on the monolith. I think I was so nervous by the time we got to the flame jump. If I didn't have it on record, I wouldn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it. Obviously, I have. Okay, so my Barstool study girl, Marissa, she keeps making all of these things out of our photo. So I have like a glow photo. I have magnets on the refrigerator. She's sending me something else for the wall. I have enough to put the flame in every part of my house. My family is.
Oh my
Nice.
God. I love that.
That's
She's
what
like,
Be used to it by now.
right. They're like, it was a flame jump. You two didn't get married. I don't want to see it.
Says who?
I was like, I don't know about that.
I mean,
Cheers now. No, I'm kidding.
flame jump, jumping the broom, same difference. I mean,
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was my favorite. Performance wise, my favorite definitely was Future Sex Love Sounds. I have embarrassing recordings of my reaction to that song. But it's the highlight. I love it. I love that. Was that my favorite? That and Sexy Back. The Sexy Back would sound incredible, but I would get this overwhelming feeling. Like, I think I started in Atlanta because I knew it was halfway through my shows. I would get this overwhelming feeling of sadness because I knew the concert was about to end.
Yeah.
So I would love the visuals and I would love the sound. He changed the sound of Sexy Back for this tour, but I would get so sad because I knew it was coming to an end.
Yeah.
And third, just all of you said it, the people I was able to connect with. I had seen him in 2020 Nosebleeds, the 2020 experience, excuse me, in Nosebleeds, but I didn't really know people back then. So this tour is very special in that regard, to be able to connect with so many, wonderful people throughout each show all across the country. So, do we have any wishes for the next tour? Things we'd like to see?
ooh, okay.
Oh man.
Listen, okay. Couple of
Where's my
things, but I'll
time?
keep it short.
No.
Okay. And I know this is 100% my privilege talking because I have seen him a couple of times during this tour, but I am so over Can't Stop the Feeling. I'm over it. I never want to hear that song ever again.
You're not the only one.
I understand, and he made a lot of money for it. Good for him. He said it's for the kids, I guess. But if we could get rid of that and put in What Lovers Do, that would be great. I understand it's, yeah, I know. So that's kind of like one of my wishes. But the second one I'm going to say is, and I've kind of discussed this with a couple of folks, is I wish the next tour would be a lounge tour. I would love, and I know the chances of it is slim to none, like he would just do like a lounge tour in a small intimate setting in which he wouldn't have to like dance or anything. He would just do like, and it wouldn't be the hits either. It would just be like the underrated, like hits that he wanted to talk about, kind of like back in the day when they did like MTV Unplugged or Storytellers, which he would be like, okay, I'm going to talk about the production between Take It From Here and like sing it live. Like that would be an amazing, amazing show. So Johnny, if you're listening, let's talk. Let's break out the details. That would be great. But that would be like my ultimate wish list, to have like a small lounge performance where he just sits on a stool, talks a little bit about the song, performs it. That would be amazing. So.
I think that would be something that would complement a bigger tour, maybe instead of. The fact of the matter is, money talks, and he has proved this tour that he can bring people in to make the money. This tour has made almost $200 million. They are not going to trade that out for a lounge tour. Yeah. But what I would hope is, instead of maybe choosing festivals next time, maybe we would choose club tours, which is what he did with Future Sex Love Sounds. Yeah. He had it was in reverse? I can't remember. I think it was in reverse, where he did club shows for a while that led into the main show. And I'm not talking about for free, because I remember Johnny was like, you know what? I cannot wait till y'all have to pay for tickets. Y'all drive me crazy with this free ticket. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Charge people. I think there should be a test. The Turins can go and pay for the main show. There's got to be some sort of a test. Like a JRT, a Justin Randall Timberlake test.
Yes, an age limit. I'm sorry. Like, if you're 5, you're not going.
Right.
There needs to be some sort of threshold.
It was really weird to share bar stools with children, because they were bar stools. That was interesting to me. So, yeah, no, I agree with that. I would rather see that than some of these festivals. Festivals feels. Kelsey, what are some things you'd like to see?
I feel like he needed to perform more of songs like from 2020 or Future Sex Love Sounds, like the deep cuts. There are so many songs he could have chosen to put into that B stage set list. He could have switched it up from time to time. I would have liked to have seen that instead of him doing the same songs every single show. But yeah, I definitely think Future Sex Love Sounds and 2020, especially part 2, put some of those songs on the set list. I would have loved to have heard those.
Loyal?
I think this would, I guess, be like the maybe before or after, like, whatever concert has happened. But I would love to see meet and greets happen. And also love meet and greets. Come with your first row ticket or something like that, or whatever. But and then also a little bit more of the fan input. I know they got 4th of July after bugging him, but I feel like it would be cool to hold on some of that in the planning stage of the next tour, for some of the things that some of the fans are hoping to hear. And then I think that may help if they offer that every once in a while or whatever, if they feel like they want to change something up as the tour proceeds. And like offer another voting space, and then change that way that list a little bit. The decision maker won't have to be like, oh, what should we move around? Well, yeah. And the same thing with the clothes too. It might be cool to like switch out the outfits, like you said, get some color in there, or pick the background singers or the background dancers outfits, or whatever, from like an IG vote or a Twitter and all that combined or whatever, so that they won't have to work as hard to just like, oh, okay, we just gonna go with this. You know what I mean? But they'll get a little bit more fan input. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. You bring a really great point to that. Like, for me, which I just thought of too, I really wish his social media PR people would outreach more to fans on this, because I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities in regards to promotion, whether it's the album or the tour. I really think they could have interacted more. How, I'm not sure, haven't gotten to that point, but I wish there was more interaction with that, whether it's coming up with ideas or even like chatting with fans, something along those lines. So maybe something to think about for the next tour. We'll see.
I think definitely I would have, I agree with something Kel said, like to, on the next tour, see it. Obviously, like I said, people say, well, I want this song, I wish you would change. But it's just extremely complicated once you're in the heart of the tour to move songs around and things in and out, just down to the timing. I heard one of his engineers say the timing of the lighting when you move a song too far in or too far back, when they cut, Fucking Up the Disco and was it Imagination?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to re-engineer the entire show, and you're talking about 2 to 3 minutes cut per song. True. So it's not a matter of just moving songs in and out. You're talking about engineers having to go back and retime everything. So that I get. I would like to see different songs. I try to keep an open mind when people say, well, I think there should be fan feedback. I think I do. While I do agree with that, like a poll or whatever, it opens the door for people to feel they have more access to the creative process than they should. And here's why I say that, because he could put a poll out there that says, you know, well, what songs would you like to see on the next tour and stuff. Perfectly innocent, just to take in fan interaction. And while I don't see a problem with that, there are people who take that very much to heart. And if he decides, well, I know they want to hear what lovers do, but for whatever reason, I still don't feel like doing it, he opens himself up to a lot of backlash and barrage, just because people feel they have such a big right to the creative process than they really should. I saw it happen in a kind of roundabout way to the singer SZA, where there were, you know, she was kind of flirting with, well, what cuts do you want to see on the deluxe album? And then when the cuts didn't make it, or she chose some, people tore her apart. And she was like, you know what? I'm not sharing any more clips. I'm not asking you people anything, because at the end of the day, it is the artist's decision. You pay to see them or you don't, based on the decisions you trust them to make as the artist. So I would like to, and he does. And I'm going to tell you why, because right before, when he was doing the Tiny Desk and stuff, people were making requests and he was responding to them in comments and likes. So he's hearing it. He is seeing it. I do think he takes it in. But social media has gotten so brutal. I think that's one of the reasons why he was really interacting before the tour, right when the album first dropped. And then things just kind of got, for multiple reasons throughout the tour, just really got ugly and he had to back off. I would really like to see his social media team focus better, or I don't think he has this. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he has one. I would like to see him have one, you know, that was fan based, especially like we're millennials. We are not hard to please on the social media.
No.
Exactly. You don't have to do much.
Same. So that would be nice to see. But just because there's so much negativity surrounding him unnecessarily, I think he deserves better. I think having more positivity out there for him would counteract a lot of the negativity that we see over ridiculous things. Yes. Agreed. Also, I would have liked to see RCA take care of the album better. I do feel like many artists, I don't know, was Normani under RCA? I think she was. Her album, I think she was, but don't quote me. Her album was really good and abandoned. And nowadays, if artists don't hit the streaming numbers right out of the gate, they will abandon them. They will not put up any money for videos. They will not put up any money for singles. I hate it here. And that's just what that is. I mean, why do you think Beyonce stopped giving us the visuals? She was just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I think she was trying to fighting over what she wanted the studios to do for her. So she just stopped doing it. And he may get to that point. Sadly, I hate it. But the fact of the matter is, I've heard studios say music videos don't make them money and they don't like making them. So that's pretty much how they feel about that. Yeah. When we were old school, where music videos were a thing, that is how you promoted your album. That is what people remembered. So it's just, that was disappointing, because I feel like No Angels is just kind of like dropped on its head. And clearly it was meant to be something bigger, lead into something bigger, and it didn't. So I would like to see his next album treated with a little more respect.
Agreed.
If we could switch out, if we could not perform Say Something, that would be great. There are a lot of other.
There were many songs from Man in the
There are a lot of other songs from 2020, low-key songs that are great. Can't Stop the Feeling is not gonna go away, because
no, it's not.
I've heard grown people say that is my favorite song. It's no tea, no shade. I don't understand that, but it makes him happy. I love that for him. Yeah. I just personally would love to hear something else. I would love to hear the other side with SZA. I mean, if we got to keep the trolls, if we got to keep the children, let's change. I love the other side. That's the only other troll song I want to hear. But
it's the only one I know.
Right? Right. Those are my thoughts. The one he did with Gwen Stefani was really good, but it requires
like that one
people. So I don't think. Well, so does We're Dead in the Water, because so does Other Side. Anyway, I don't want to hear Can't Stop the Feeling anymore. That's it. But it's gonna be there. It's his #1 song of all time. So,
it's for the children.
Hot take. As much as I love Mirrors, I would be okay if you retired it.
Yes. It did what it needed to do. It's great, but I'm good.
That's his second biggest song, though, too. He's not going to get
I know it.
Yeah, it's still going to be there. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Probably bought him that jet plane he always wanted as a child. But, at this point,
listen, we paid for their vacation to Aspen with those
for a couple of vacations. I done paid for Cancun, Aspen. I think I done bought Silas a play crib. Come on now.
Exactly.
Does anyone have any thoughts on I'm not going to any of the festivals. I know Kemi are. I'm not sure if Loyal is, but what you would like to see from festivals or festival footage?
I just want him to have a good time. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, take the jacket off.
Take the jacket off.
Yes.
Yeah, that too.
I'm assuming with festivals that he's going to be a little bit more relaxed, since there's not as much pressure, because it is a festival. There's going to be other performers as well.
Right.
So hopefully he is relaxed and enjoys the time there. And I think it's either Brazil or Argentina. They're super excited because I think it's his first time being there. So he's definitely going to feel the love. I'm going to see him at the Monterey Festival. So I'll let you guys know how he's going to do, which I'm sure is great. But yeah, I just want him to have a good time. I think it's going to be more relaxed and more chill. And just him enjoying, performing. So yeah, we'll see.
I'm a little nervous only because it's packed so tightly throughout the summer. I didn't think he was going to keep adding. I was like, dang, you could have circled back to the U.S. for a couple of arena tours if you're going to stay outside, but whatever.
Money talks, so.
Right. I think they was like, ooh, he booked a couple. Let's book a couple more. He's feeling this one. So, I'm happy for him. That means he's more in demand. I don't do festivals. I would like to see a slight change to the set list. I won't be there, but I would like the footage, right? Yeah. I do think it's going to be more relaxed. We do know he will not have dancers with him. So that's going to be interesting to see how that changes for him. We only had one stadium show. So we really have a good grip of what that's going to look like, because the festivals tend to change. I doubt we'll have Blocky. Because you can't hook that thing.
I don't think it would work.
He has a show in a castle, so I highly doubt it's going to.
And he may change the special effects depending on where he's performing. So, I remember, like I said, with the stadium, Beyonce pulled off things people said she could not. So he may be working. He worked with NASA for this tour. The people, who sent rocket ships. So they may have something very special that they built for him for his festival. So I'm interested to see what that might look like.
I hope he has some color. Summer.
Take that jacket off and put on
some color. He should be in summer in Europe.
Right.
Jacket off
with some purples.
And then I think it would be a really cool opportunity, since it's festivals, especially in other countries, to feature some other artists. And then he can even pull on some of the songs he's already featured on, and has other artists put that out of the catalog. I think it would be really dope, to kind of people, especially because he's not having dancers, so he can really kind of pull on some of those other songs as you can kind of groove to and dance and stuff like that. And then even some people, some artists that they know well in those countries. I think that would be awesome. And it would help to even.
He's already announced the young lady. I'm not really familiar with anything, but I think in the 2 London shows, I'm not familiar with those locations, but he's already announced her. So, and sometimes there'll be surprises at the last minute. So that might be really cool. Like Switzerland, 50 Cent. I agree with more newer artists.
Yo.
We're going way back, but everyone's like, maybe it'll be a little AO Technology reunion in Switzerland. And there was one other show. Nope, that's the only 2 links. But we'll see. I think that's a really good idea. You never know. It's going to be interesting those first 1 or 2 shows to see what we're exactly working with. And then, after July 10th, I just want to say, like, you don't have to work the whole summer. You can, like, go back in the booth and do something else.
Or
I'm just saying. Kick off.
Yeah.
Or the B-side of Everything I Thought It Was. That would be great.
Part 2.
Maybe
Yeah.
part 2. That'd be great.
March, we are recording this now. Hopefully this episode will come out. Oh, it'll come out before the 15th. It should come out, yeah. But March 15th, Saturday, will be the 1-year anniversary of Everything I Thought It Was. There are hush hush rumors that there's a deluxe. I'm not putting anything into that, and I tell you why. I got my heart broken when he was on Jimmy Fallon the night of the anniversary of 2020 part 2, and here's why I say this, because I figured out 2020 was released on March 15th, the 2020 experience. So I was like, if there's a part 2, it would have been released in September. And I thought, oh my God, he's on Jimmy Fallon that night, he's gonna announce it. And all he was like, I have more tour dates. And I was like,
him and Jimmy did a Christmas song.
Yeah.
That was the big announcement.
Him and Jimmy did a song. Anyway,
next year is the 20th anniversary of, oh God, I'm aging myself, of Future Sex Love Sound. So
he never does anything for any of his anniversaries.
He needs to.
He just never does anything. The anniversary comes, goes, nothing. So
Okay.
that's what it is. But it would be nice for.
It would be nice.
Yeah, but he did nothing for Justified ever. So I'm not begging
True.
on it. And the last thing before we wrap this up, this is a fun episode. We are running a little long, but obviously we had a whole tour to talk about. Is just if you have any final words that you would want to say to him about what this tour meant for you.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I think, okay, I'm trying to like form words here. I think for me, I didn't expect to be as, it's such a weird saying because like I've known Justin and his music for so long. I think going into it, I thought it would just be the same, like, oh, I'll go to a couple shows and it'll be great and everything. But it really reignited my appreciation for him. Like I was able to kind of like discover different aspects of him and the music and the fandom and everything, which I wasn't expecting in a weird sort of way. So I'm just very appreciative that he is on tour, because I was thinking about it, like, do we know any other male pop performer in their 40s that are still doing it, that are still out there performing, making music, and he doesn't have to, he can do whatever he wants. But the fact that he's like, yes, I'm going to do an album, I'm going to do a tour, I'm going to interact with fans. Like, I am just so grateful. Because unfortunately, not a lot of people, I'm going to say it, not a lot of people have the talent that he does. And unfortunately, I feel it's a lost art form in regards to singing live, hitting those notes, sounding better than the album, performing, dancing, creating a storyline, interacting with fans. It's not something that's easily done, and he's still doing it. And from what I've seen, he still enjoys it. So I am just very thankful for all that he's done. He's changed the game forever. He is an icon. He is the moment. He is everything. Yeah, I would just say it's everything I thought it was and more. Pun intended.
Loyal, but do you have anything?
Yeah, I would just say thank you so much. You know what I mean? Like, similar to what I told some of the other members, I would say, of NSYNC that I've had the opportunity to meet. Like, you literally have made so many people's dreams come true, and so including mine. So talking to him, or talking to you, Justin, if you're watching this, was a dream come true. It didn't even feel real, and I still, when I watch it back, I still am rooting the person on in the video, forgetting it's me sometimes, and excited. Talking to my daughter, and giving my brother a great time, as well as all of my NSYNC and JT besties. The best show. Thank you for pushing yourself, even when you're tired. And just offering all of us another experience. And you kind of mentioned it earlier. It's like we got take it to another like world for a few hours, you know what I mean? And so it was just such a like a blessing, you know, to be there to experience all the hard work that everybody put in, and we're just excited to go on the journey, you know, with him, and wherever he goes next, we're going there too. So yeah.
Very true. Kelsey?
Well, like I said earlier, this tour was my first Justin Timberlake tour, so this was so monumental for me in my life. I never thought I would get to see Justin live ever, and I've been a fan of his since NSYNC. He's just an incredible performer. I don't really see many male performers at his age doing what he does. The talent that he has, you know, he pushed himself so hard, and, you know, his voice was just incredible. He hit every single note, the choreography, you know, the dancers, the crew, the background singers, just everybody just came together and just did this amazing tour. I never thought I'd get to see him 5 times. I thought Vegas would be it, and Kels invited me to Boston. I did 2 nights in Boston, and it took off from there. And Justin, thank you. I'm so thankful for this journey that I've got to go on with you and meet so many incredible people, and I cannot wait to see what you do next.
Yeah, so, I mean, they've pretty much said it all at this point, but I'm just grateful that he decided to release another album and return to the stage. You know, despite a lot of adversity and things that he was up against, because he could have easily not have done that. And I'm grateful he did. And, you know, I met so many incredible people along the way, and I just really hope that he understands that this tour solidified that if you go to a show, it's not just about the show. It's a feeling, it's a party, it's a vibe. It is a chance to forget tomorrow. And I think he really he took that idea to heart. When I heard it, I was like, that's kind of funny. No, he really took it to heart at building a world of escapism, putting his heart into it, from everything from production to dancers to, I may not agree with it all the time, but the song choices. So I'm just grateful that he came back, and I just don't want it to be another 60. Like I need maybe I need a year or two to get the funds together. Like times, you know, I know he rolling in it. Times are tough. I just want to let you know. But like 2 max is probably a comfy spot to go on tour. I expect an album before 2 years, so don't, you know, I bet a tour.
Not 6.
But right, not 6. That's great. Life happened, and we get that, and you know, the album probably was delayed for reasons. But yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful for him to coming back to the stage, to dropping another album. It was one of the highlights of 2024. And I always just say, for haters and meeting headlines, data does not lie. Okay. No. This was one of the best selling tours of 2024 in the United States and in Europe. So if he comes back again, he's going to sell them out again. He's going to do this again. And I don't think any amount of headlines is going to take that away from him. So we appreciate you. We hope you get better. We hope you have a wonderful summer in the festivals. And we just really want you back in the booth. You don't even have to get back in the booth. You are sitting on like 80 something songs. So you could just, you know, drop it one. You could do a Kendrick.
And he doesn't have to do anything big. If he wants to do a Beyonce and just silently release them on a platform so we can have them, I'm good with that too.
I would be good with that.
All right.
We'll find out eventually. It'll be all right.
Wait, say that again. It dropped out.
I said all of our notifications are on, so we'll find out.
Right. Yes. My DMs are open. If you want to collab, we're good.
March 15th, I didn't realize it was a Saturday, but like I'm gonna be ready. So if I don't believe anything I hear on the internet, but if there is a deluxe in the works, like please just whatever. Which would be perfect timing, because then he may add one of those songs to the festival. So that would be it, which is how I think he did with 2020 experience, but that was a while ago, so don't ask me. I think some of the part 2 songs made it into the festival list. Okay, so before we get out of here, this was a wonderful show. I'm so happy you ladies joined us. Hopefully next tour you'll be able to join us again. And we have some birthdays, right, Kelsey? You have the birthdays?
I do. Our March birthdays, we have Monique Loves NSYNC, was March 4th. Brandy Lance Girl is March 6th. Dom's Mom 1109 is also March 6th. Melinda is March 8th. Susanna is March 9th. Ashley Nicole 88 is March 15th. Tristy's husband, Brad, I think that's Tristy's Treasures, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever bought some of her stuff, she has incredible merch on Etsy. March 15th. Miss Loyal Lee, who's here with us today. Woo woo! March 19th. Joey A. Henry is March 20th. And the Chelsea Mentality is March 31st.
Very, very nice. So happy birthday to all our March babies.
Yes.
Happy birthday!
Woohoo.
Happy birthday. And this will be our last, I guess this is kind of it. We may do a festival show. I don't know, but this is probably the last time we revisited several times in the podcast. And I feel a little sad like I did in Chicago. It's over. But, we had a great time. Make sure that you follow us on TikTok, on Twitter, on IG, so you know when our next episode will drop. And please let us know in the comments what some of your favorite moments. Did you have a moment? What did you like to see on the tour? And what you would like to see on the next tour? So see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.